This accident that sent its single passenger pilot to the hospital with minor injuries has now turned into a waiting game for sheriff deputies. Take a look at the plane. That line, believe it or not, was stretching right behind me about 10 minutes ago, and then even closer to the morning, it was towards the end of the building. Firefighters were called to this location where that shed caught on fire. That shed that we're being told had furniture, appliances. Police say he was going anywhere between 80 to 100 miles an hour before crashing into their white Acura. The Capitol, full of jubilee and high hopes, was the scene where the governor gave his State of the State address. I'm Andrew Ruiz, and I'll tell you what tops his agenda.
You don't have anything to say, y'all. Need to leave,
is
okay?
Bruce here, or is
No.
Jerry here?
No.
No one's here? They only pay sales taxes to 6 states out of the U.S., and by 2016, there'll be 7 more added to the list. And they're hoping to push that aside and introduce tablets that could produce a savings of $1,080 a year. On New Year's Day, it's customary to choose your resolutions. So if yours is to change out of your dress clothes for some workout ones, here's some tips to get you started. It was a race against time. Firefighters dragging water lines to the scene. Electrical sparks working against the dozens rushing towards the house on Harvard Circle. This was the scene 45 minutes past 10 last night, just moments after neighbors called 911.
I had heard her hollering for her dog, and as we were trying to get the dog out of the house, the back bedroom burst into flames.
The homeowner, later identified as Tony, had just returned from vacation with her son. However, things were about to go terribly wrong. 2 of her pets were inside the fully engulfed building.
They pulled the cat out and it was handed off to another crew.
Thanks to a pet oxygen mask, Chelsea was resuscitated. Meanwhile, as firefighters continued to battle the embers, rescue crews looked for Pepper, the family dog.
She is an amazing woman. She's worked hard all her life, and she just loves that dog.
Pepper never made it out alive.
It doesn't matter if it's an animal or a person, any fatality, you know, it weighs in on all of us. That's why we got the extra equipment, actually. We haven't always had those pet oxygen masks, but they work wonders.
Unfortunately, this time, it was too late. Reporting from Bay County, Andrew Ruiz, News 13.
Andrew, any idea what caused the crash?
Amy, the Federal Aviation Administration, who investigates these crashes, told us that the yellow banner plane lost power near the airport. And if it wasn't for the pilot's swift moves, deputies say this accident could have been a lot worse. Uncertainty surrounded a plane crash that occurred after 2 Monday afternoon. Bay County Sheriff's deputies and fire crews rushed to the scene of this accident off Vincent Road in West Bay.
Officers responded. As we responded, we located the single-engine plane that was sitting here, also with the male that was inside, suffered some minor injuries.
Deputies identified the man as James Land of Panama City. He was flying this plane back to the airport but crashed 2 miles away. The single passenger plane came crashing through this tree line and of course left some debris behind, but a majority of it is still intact at its final resting place. The plane, registered under Aerial Banners, a company out of the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, was built in 1965. Usually you'll see it flying above area beaches, serving as an advertisement for Geico.
Unknown, undetermined on if he had a banner, didn't have a banner. All we know is the plane was down.
At the scene, some time was spent trying to locate the possible banner, but they didn't find it. According to the sheriff's office, the company is sending a crew to retrieve the plane to continue its own investigation. News 13 made contact with the owners, but they declined to comment. Now, it is customary that the FAA will inspect the aircraft as it does with every accident. As for the pilot, he only suffered minor injuries and is expected to be okay.
This first year is very hard.
For the families of 2 Okaloosa County women killed in a tragic accident, it was hard to fight back the tears. It was quiet while each of them faced their loved one's killer.
These 2 ladies were the best of friends and were constant travel companions all over the world.
On June 9th, Mary Jo Badali was en route to the airport for a wedding. Before dawn, she and her friend Mary Burks waited at the intersection of Highway 79 and Back Beach Road for the light to turn green. Police say he was going anywhere between 80 to 100 miles an hour before crashing into their white Acura.
He struck them with his vehicle with enough force that caused both of their deaths.
Officers unveiled what you'll only see here on News 13, the mangled vehicles in their custody.
How the metal's just completely peeled back like a can.
Based on blood samples, police determined Dillard was under the influence of LSD, marijuana, and alcohol.
Case number.
On Wednesday, the court accepted Dillard's plea to 2 counts of DUI manslaughter.
You understand this is a final plea.
And despite feeling an overwhelming amount of sadness, these families have found it in their hearts to forgive Dillard.
I want you to know that of all the people in this room that my mother would be the most worried about would be you.
There's nothing I can do or nothing I can say to really express the amount of grief that I have for that.
Dillard says he chose to share his story so it could serve as a reminder to others to think twice about their actions. Reporting from Bay County, Andrew Ruiz, News 13.